Hey there, everybody. How's it going? Peter here with BlackRock Business, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, we are going to talk about making inventory items in QuickBooks Point of Sale. It's going to be a lot to cover. There's a lot of fields. I'm just going to say right off the bat that there are so many fields that a lot of the fields have to do with workflows and data flows that are like a whole nother video. So I'm going to give like a brief overview of a lot of these fields on creating a inventory item or a point of sale item. And some of them I can't really go into very deeply, or I'll just be here all day talking. We just want to get through actually creating an item. And so you have a brief overview of what some of the fields do. We will cover all the fields though. So here we are. Don't forget to go over to blackrockbusiness.com and check out our tips, tricks, videos, blog posts, tutorials, all that kind of stuff. And I'm really excited to share with you quickly that we have a book coming forward. We're going to be producing a book that is going to be the big monster point of sale book covering QuickBooks Point of Sale and every single thing that you got to do in there. And it's going to be really exciting. And so we're going to produce that. I believe we're going to be giving it away for free, actually. So look out for that. It's coming up. And let's get to it. All right, here we are, QuickBooks Point of Sale. A few different places that you can create an inventory item. You can add an item from the menu here. You can add one on the Make a Sale screen by pulling the item dropdown to here. You can actually pretty much make an item in a ton of different places. You can make them on purchase orders, which makes sense because you might be ordering them for the first time. You can create them on receiving vouchers. And of course, you can make them in the item list here. So up in the upper right, we've got the Add button. That's going to bring up our Add an Inventory Item screen. So here we're going to make an item. I think I have a clothing store loaded up. So why don't we make a Hawaiian blouse? Did I spell Hawaiian right? Let's just call it a Minnesota blouse, because that's way cooler. Here in Minnesota, it went from -30 this week, and now it's positive 40 degrees. So that's really crazy. 70-degree difference over, of course, like 48 hours. Just absolutely insane. All right, we got the type of item. So here we've got inventory, and the inventory type is going to be when you order items, they come in, you're tracking the quantities, and so each time you sell it, it depletes the quantity. And so that's your normal setting if you actually want to track how many you have. We also have non-inventory item. Some people like to use that when they got so many of something that they just don't even really care to keep track, like jewelry. Sometimes, like I've seen bait shops with fishing lures. I mean, you got a million little jig heads. You're not going to count them all. You're not going to keep track of them all, because it doesn't really matter. They're not that expensive. So you can use non-inventory, and when you do use non-inventory, it doesn't have a quantity number, and you pay your vendor bill, and that's your accounts payable, and then or in essence your expense. And then when you sell it, it goes into your income account, which is merchandise sales. So you're not keeping track of quantities, but you still have a profit and loss, you know. Service is much like non-inventory, except it's just that it's a service. It's something you do for somebody. It doesn't have any tangible item. Now, assembly and group are definitely tutorial for another time. I know we have a video on making group items, and that's when you sell separate inventory items as a group with a different price, and it depletes the quantities on all the items in the group. Now, an assembly item is a little different, and that is you have inventory items, and when you create or when you make into being an assembly item, it takes the 3 or 4 inventory items that it had to manufacture them from, and so it takes the quantities of those right away and says there's one new assembly item. So big difference here. Assembly items, when you make the item, it depletes the quantities. Group item, you can sell all the individual items inside a group item separately, but you can also sell them all together. And so the quantities get depleted at the sale time. All right, so next we have department. I think the blouse, I don't know, we're gonna go for tops or something here. Sweater, shirts, novelty tops. We'll say novelty top. All right. So choosing your department is important because for reporting later, obviously the sales of this item will be, you'll be able to look at reports by department and it'll be counted like that. Now, item description, a lot of people just leave this blank because it's kind of busy work, but some people like to have a description because you can make that come out on your receipt. I should mention that most of the fields on this screen you can make come out on your receipt. You can make a line form or a space form on your receipt, and you can do that in a custom fashion. So, wonderful Minnesota graphic blouse. Now, size and attribute. Let's see. These both kind of delve into the style. And let me give an example for size and attribute. With jeans, you might have, or actually with the blouse, why don't we just say size, you'd have small, medium, large, extra large. Attribute, you might have red, gray, pink, something like that, another attribute. Now, if you use a style grid, which is a topic for another video, you can actually create this single item. And then let's say you have 4 sizes and 3 colors. The style grid would automatically make 12 different items out of this one item, because if you have a cross-hatching of all the different sizes in all the different colors, then you really have 12 items, right? 4 times 3, yeah. So we'll get into that in a different video, making a style grid and how it can save you a lot of time with, especially with pants. That's where I was going to go with it. You know, you got size, you know, whatever, size 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, and then you've got blue, black, and whatever, and it just saves you a lot of time with your pants or your different clothing sizes. It automatically creates all the different individual items. Now, regular pricing. Here, let's see, this blouse, let's say we sell this for $25. So that's just your regular price that you're going to sell to your customer at. On-hand quantity and average unit cost. Generally, you're going to leave these alone upon item creation if you're a new store. I'll say that, if you're a new store. If you are a store that's established and you are moving to this point of sale from a previous point of sale or a different system, and you know what these numbers already are, then you're going to want to put them in here, kind of like an import. And you can import all your items from an old point of sale using Excel. That's a different video. You can find that on our YouTube as well. Now, average unit cost is going to be a calculated column. Over time, it's going to look at all the different costs that you have ordered it at, because your costs may fluctuate, and it's going to calculate for you an average unit cost over time. On-hand quantity is going to go up and down according to receiving. And that's why I'm saying don't enter the on-hand quantity here if you're a new store. You want to do receiving vouchers, and you want to check that out in a different tutorial. Receiving vouchers is how you should receive all of your items when they show up on your doorstep. If you do it other ways, it screws up your accounting. I can't really explain it all, but just trust me. Now, the pricing button next to regular price. Another subject here is you have numerous price levels. Some stores use it, a lot of stores don't. But if you are running separate price levels and you have the different markdowns set, this should automatically set them. In this point of sale right now, we don't have any separate price levels, so it's just counting them all as the same, or 10% off, I guess, on every other price level besides regular. Now, over time, the margin, actually, according to your cost to your regular price, your margin and markup fields will update, and you can look at those. You may want to fill in MSRP if that's something you want to include on your price tag. A lot of people don't care, but if you want your customer to feel like they're getting a great deal, you can put MSRP on your price tag. So let's do that. MSRP, we're going to say it was 50 bucks. Yeah, we're getting such a great deal here. We're selling it for 25. All right, now according to your department, your tax, whether it's non-tax or taxable, should automatically be filled in by your department because usually different types of products and clothes get a set taxable or non-taxable by your state. And so if you watch the departments video, which is another video of ours, you can see to set your departments either taxable or non-taxable by what type of product it is. UPC next, that's pretty obvious. You are going to have a product, and let me see if I got anything around here. I got my handy dandy gun here. So this will be the manufacturer barcode label. There, I just scanned my Powerade. And so you can actually check people out at the mixed sale screen using the manufacturer barcode. And then, of course, at the mixed sale screen, you can check them out with the price tag that you print out of your Zebra printer. Quick pick group. This is a subject for another day, but these are really quick groups on your mixed sale screen that you can usually hit with like a touch screen if you have one. And so if you want to add things that maybe don't normally have price tags because they're small or they're accessories, something like that, you can make a quick pick group and add the product to that. Now, going on, miscellaneous and shipping. As for printing tags, sometimes you have items where, like I said, they're too small. Maybe they're not the right size to put a tag on. And so you'd say, I don't normally want to print tags for that. And the reason why you uncheck this is a lot of times when you make a receiving voucher and you're getting products into your store, you might print all the tags on the entire receiving voucher all at once. But if there's a product that you don't want to print tags for, then when you say print all and you have this unchecked, it won't print this one. And so that's useful because you don't want to waste tags on things that you're not even going to use tags on. So you can leave that at default to print them or take it out if you don't want to. Now, unorderable. Now this, let's see, there's a system in point of sale where when you're running low, and we'll talk about that in the future, it automatically makes purchase orders so that you can easily purchase from your vendor to refill your stock when it's getting low. Now, if your vendor no longer is carrying something or they're out of it till next year or something like that, you can check unorderable and it will not create an automatic purchase order using reorder points. So that's what that's for. Now, using serial numbers, this is a great system for electronics. I know have serial numbers. Sometimes car parts or batteries or different, usually mechanical stuff for some reason has a serial number. We don't really see serial numbers in soft goods, but this does probably exactly what you think it does. When you receive products where you have serial number turned on, you can scan all the serial numbers into stock. When you make that sale, it'll ask you which serial number is this, and you scan it or you type it in, and then it knows that's leaving stock. That is also a great way to keep track of warranties because you can see in the customer history what the serial number was for their product, and you can make sure that matches up for their warranty. All right, now next we have earned commission. So you may or may not pay your employees commissions. And if you do, this is automatically checked usually. If it's some weird item where you're not going to do commission, it's just kind of a special case or something, and you don't think the employees should get a commission on the money that's being made with the product, you can uncheck this and it won't show up on their commission reports. Now, earning rewards, the Rewards Center and the rewards program in QuickBooks Point of Sale is a great way for customer retention, but once again, there might be super special items that you don't believe the customer should earn rewards for their program or rewards points on. So you can uncheck this and the customer will not earn a reward for buying this item. The possibilities are endless with why that would be. Now, shipping, pretty obvious. We might have what is this, a 1 pound blouse, and the box might be 5 by 10 by 2. So these pieces of information here are going to be used in your point of sale if you do shipping. Maybe you get web orders, e-commerce, Facebook, I don't know. Maybe people are ordering your stuff and you're sending it to them. And so this will delve right into the shipping manager and creating labels for you sending out your products to your customers if you are shipping. So that's a good thing to have. Otherwise, most people leave that blank if they're just straight brick and mortar store. Now the more info area here, I know we're going through a lot, but I just don't want this video to be like super duper long. It's already going to be long. Vendor is going to be whoever you order this blouse from, right? So we'll just say we get this blouse from Backy. Maybe we should choose something that I can pronounce. Uh, Basil and Lola. Okay. So we order the Minnesota blouse from Basil and Lola. That means it would be normal for you to create a receiving voucher or a purchase order to Basil and Lola for this product, and it'll be the attached vendor for this product. Now, alternate vendor, usually don't see this in clothing, but I do see this in manufacturing or parts and pieces in electronics. Maybe you have a supplier or a distributor, and so maybe you normally get it from the main vendor, but you might want to set up a separate UPC, ALU, and ordering cost for other vendors that you can still get the same product from. And you would just set them up here, and that would be like your backup vendor to order this from. So we'll get to some of the other fields I just mentioned. Ordering cost. This is normally, you can pull the cost out of wherever you're ordering it from, and you can put it in here at first, but normally this is going to be pulled from and averaged from all the different purchase orders and receiving vouchers that you handle with your vendor. So this might be a fluctuating cost, and that's why we might get the average unit cost over here. So you can fill in your initial cost here, but it might not really matter. It might not mean as much because it might be fluctuating. Next, we have your reorder point. So as I mentioned, you order your things from a vendor with a purchase order, and you can do that manually. A lot of people just do it when they feel like it, and they just manually order with a purchase order. But Point of Sale has a system where I can tell it, when I get down to 3 of these blouses, I want you to suggest doing a purchase order to me. So there's a whole dashboard, and you can look at suggested purchase orders for things that have fallen below your reorder point. So it's a really great way to keep in stock of your regular things that you want to have on hand all the time. Item number. This is automatically assigned by the Point of Sale. It's really just an identification number for this item. It also becomes the barcode on the zebra tags when you print those out. So you can type in your item number in the Make Sale screen if you happen to remember it, and that'll also be a way to ring somebody up. ALU, I like to liken this field as to the SKU field in most retail senses, stock keeping unit. In essence, it's just a shorthand code for your vendor normally, where they know what the SKU is, they know what that product or item is. So I mean, it's not going to be the UPC, and it's not going to be your item number from your Point of Sale. But if you look in your vendor catalog and they got something in there like BBMN123, something like that, so that maybe that's your vendor's item number. It's really great to be able to identify as a SKU or an ALU, which stands for alternate lookup, what it is with your vendor. Also, sometimes you look on the clothing tag or the product tag or the model number even, and you can have a ALU, alternate lookup. It's just a field that you can fill in with anything that's going to help you to look up the product in an alternate means. You can type this in on the Make Sale screen, you can type it in on the inventory list, and it'll bring up this product as well. Now, units of measure, not going to really get into that, but that's a whole system where you can say, I order 40 cigars in a box at one time, and so that unit of measure would be a box. And then you tell the Point of Sale there's 40 eaches, or there's 40 units in the box that you sell separately. So you might want to order by 1 unit and sell by another unit, or that happens in liquor. You might buy a box of 6 liquor bottles, and so your purchase order or your receiving voucher would be received as one box. And then when you go to sell it, the point of sale automatically knows you have 6 of those because you received one box. Now you can sell 6 units or bottles. So that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. It's pretty complicated, but once you walk through it, makes sense. Now, manufacturer, I mean, you got your vendor, that's who you buy it from, but maybe the manufacturer is China Factory Ltd, something like that. Now, syncing to mobile, if you are running QuickBooks payments, then maybe you're familiar with the Go Payment app. And if you're interested in that, certainly give us a call. But you get a special feature with the Go Payment app. If I sync this item to mobile, it'll show up in my Go Payment app on my phone or tablet, and I can check somebody out on the road or at a show or wherever you are that's not in your store. The sale then flows back to point of sale and ends up as a receipt on your receipt history. So checking this box here, I wouldn't recommend doing it for every single item. I usually just recommend go through and check the box for things you're going to take off site for the show, because otherwise it gets really hard to find in the app if there's way too many items. If you have every single item in your whole store in the app, it's just a mess on trying to find the right one. All right, so that's synced to mobile. Next, I'm going to skip over to comments here, and that's really whatever you want it to be. You could say the buttons often fall off this blouse. You know, whatever you want to note to yourself for future when you're looking at this item, or maybe there's something special about ordering it that you need to know. Then we got QuickBooks options. You should obviously have your point of sale hooked up to QuickBooks accounting so that all your financials flow over there. I've only known a couple of people who don't have it set up that way, and I have no idea why they wouldn't want all of their stuff to flow over to QuickBooks Financial. So we got cost of goods account. That's what it's going to be attached to when you're ordering and receiving, and it creates a bill and it attaches it to your cost of goods in QuickBooks Financial. Then when you sell it, it's going to make money flow into your income account, merchandise sales. And then when you're doing inventory adjustments or you're messing with the numbers of your inventory because they're not right for some reason, it will have a direct impact on the inventory asset account because the goods that you currently possess are your assets, you know, they're your inventory assets. So that's pretty much it. That's the entire screen for now. Maybe one thing I didn't mention is you can add pictures to your items. If you have a lot of items that are similar in name, but they look different, you might want to take pictures and put them in here. I see that most people don't do that, but some people are just really bored, so they do. Thanks for coming along on this video and learning how to create an item in QuickBooks Point of Sale. My name's Peter with BlackRock Business. Once again, give us a call if you need anything or head on over to blackrockbusiness.com and we'd be happy to hook you up. Have a great day.